Hey, welcome back to the channel. So with 2023 coming to a close, I just thought I'd compile sort of a best of compilation of the year. It was a crazy year, accomplished a lot with the car. Looking forward, obviously, to 2024. Not sure what it'll bring or how I can top this year. It was amazing. A lot of parts opportunity for the car, being in the donut media commercial, as well as attending a few meets, 2 track days. It was a lot. So, I had a blast, and I want to thank all you guys who've supported the channel. Also launched my merch line for Tiger Speed Shop. Go to tigerspeedshop.com right now for 25% off using NGS25. Again, just want to thank all you guys who've supported the channel since day one. With that said, I won't bore you and buckle up for a long, probably, I think it's around 2-hour compilation of the best of California Kona N, or Gavin's 2023 year. We're going to be installing a carbon fiber steering wheel on the Kona N. I'm excited. These wheels are from, I just spit over there. These carbon fiber wheels are available at SoCal Garage Works. They come in a variety of different options and configurations that you can choose from. All right, got to buy the right tools.
There's a hole on each back side of the wheel when you turn the wheel, right here. You want to grab the screwdriver. Let's do it this one. You want to push down towards, when you get in the hole, you want to push it down towards the center of the steering wheel, and you push a tab on either side. And then you go here and do the other side. It goes like this. You go in, push it down towards the center of the steering wheel.
Okay.
And
then you should be able to release the airbag.
And the airbag comes out.
Oh, there it is. There we go. This one. Okay. We did it. All right, we did it with the power of the internet. The bolt is out.
When you take the wheel off, there are markers aligned, so you don't have to worry about putting your wheel straight before you take it off or put it back.
Use the marker to align it. Yeah. Gotcha. There's your new wheel, or your old new wheel, I guess. All right, second Kona N bomb, almost off.
I got diffusing squad number 2.
Here it is. All right, here's the new wheel, way heavier, flat bottom. Yep, that works. Yeah, I think it's on there pretty good. New steering wheel installed. What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. Exciting news. Hey, buddy. Going to be the R&D car for Boral Exhaust. So excited there. They posted a R&D wanted post on their IG stories, and one of the vehicles was a Kona N. But with that said, I have to head to my brother's house because I have to put the stock airbox and intake and remove the blow-off valve in order to drop off the car for R&D. So going to head to my brother's house now and get that started. Hyundai over here. No more GTR here. All Hyundai KDM fam now. This one's always the hardest one. The 4 bolts on the blow-off valve. All right, everything back to stock. Let's see if it throws any codes. One last cold start before the exhaust. So it's the next day, time to drop off the car. Gotta drop off this one first, and then we're off to Borla exhaust, so stay tuned. Avenue. Alright, made it. We are here. Nice Elantra in here. Okay.
So you can see it's a lot longer tailpipes.
Yeah.
But this is the size of tip. We're going to be offering them in this bright chrome and a black chrome.
Oh, cool.
Those are kind of the 2 options we're looking at. So really for you, just which one do you want?
Okay.
So very similar again to the Veloster.
Yeah.
We've just gotten to, it's just making it fit on these cars. It's all the same engine, similar platform. So
Cool. Similar sound too? Yeah. It's gonna sound dope. I know, I saw the videos. I was watching it before I came here. Yeah. Going to pick up the car today at Borla, so excited to see how the exhaust turned out. I've had the car there for about 3 weeks now, and just excited to start driving it again. We'll see how it turned out. They did share a clip with me, so I'll insert it here if you want to take a listen. Shoot, got the Elon taxi here. What's up? Thanks for the ride, man. Like I haven't had it in like 3 weeks. Like I forgot I had like a car, you know? So it went pretty smooth?
Yeah, it was different than like the Elantra.
Oh yeah? Is it pretty close to the, you said it's close to the Veloster though?
Close. Yeah, it was.
Close-ish?
It wasn't close.
Oh, it was? What'd you have to
really
do? What'd you have to do different? Just
tailpipe geometry is completely different.
I see.
Also, the whole front pipe from cat back is totally new as well.
Okay. Cool. Can I go underneath here? Is it? Oh, okay.
It's locked.
Don't want to have it drop on me.
Just like it's like a lot of custom welding and pipe welding and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, we got a mandrel bender here, so we can bend anything.
Muffler part was here, right?
Yeah, the Kona doesn't use it though.
Oh,
But the
interesting.
Elantra and the Veloster both use this location.
Uh huh.
Don't know why this one doesn't, but it doesn't.
So you kind of just left it there. They're like, it's already built into the car or something. Yeah. So they're like, fuck it. They're like
an all-wheel drive one uses it or something.
Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, they're right there because they have an all-wheel drive version,
Yeah.
But this one's all front-wheel drive. So
potentially that's where it's at. But I haven't
Cool.
seen it under one, so I couldn't tell you. We still got our polyphonic harmonizer up in here.
Yeah.
So that really helps.
Nice.
Especially with those higher frequencies.
Yeah.
Which you'll notice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, other than that, it's pretty similar to the Veloster system and also the Veloster.
Cool.
But I think it's the loudest out of all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is what we'd call like a hybrid muffler. So it's split where it's got some tuning in there. It's also got some stuff to just quiet it down in general too. So
I
when
see.
you're in those eco modes,
It'll just act normal. It'll just be normal. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely louder than stock.
Yeah.
But like,
You'll hear it, but you won't be like.
but it's not gonna piss off everyone.
Yeah. That's
We'll be
awesome.
Like, yeah, that's an Hyundai.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Well, where my boiler?
My pants.
I know. Shit. That sounds cool. That tint though, huh? That guy did a good job, right? Oh yeah, yeah. Is it in end mode right now, or are you just?
It's in end mode.
Oh, nice.
It's in there,
Oh, okay. So that's normal. Yep. Ooh. Yeah.
but when you're in it, it's pretty massive.
Yeah. Even the normal has a good tone to it. It's like enough to where you're like, hey, this isn't stock, but. That's normal. Yep. Here's end mode. Woo! Yeah. Love it, yeah. Also, in a couple weeks from now, I'm gonna have the car, or I'm gonna look to have the car on track for the first time. So my first track day video should be up after that track day. So. Installing intake and blow-off valve for like the 100th time, so stay tuned. Also going to add new pedal extensions as well as replace the Alcantara shift knob with this H-speed sort of sequential style shift knob. So did a poll on IG and it looks like everyone wants the Alcantara one, so we'll run this one first and see how it turns out. Yeah, just for the. Yep. Yeah. All right. Got this guy, little Luxon strap bar, with the overnight parts from Korea. Nice solid piece. So if anything, you know, performance aside, I think it'll add a nice aesthetic to the engine bay. So excited to put this on, but here's a look. And I'll put a link into the description where you can buy all these parts that we're going to put on the car today. So, all right, gonna try to put the boot onto the shifter. The OEM boot has sort of this plastic ring that goes in the middle, but obviously that's conformed to the old shifter. So let's see how we can put on the
H-speed shifter and maybe zip tie around so that it's nice and snug and not sort of loose or have a little play, just because the OEM one is a little wider on the boot. So. See how that looks? A little flush to the edge there. Let's try and put it on and we'll see. Boot's a little funky just because it's not as tall, but feels good. Looks cool. Then to put, it's not like a lift up, but like a normal stick shift, so you gotta push down and up. There it is. Bam. So I was having an issue with the car detecting it still in P. So actually had to install it with the collar on the top like this instead of pushing it down how I had it, and then tightening these bolts after. So let's see if this works and I don't get any errors this time. All right. 2 R. And no error telling me to put it in P. Whew. All right, back to the intake and blow off valve. I filmed this thing a bunch of times before, so I'm just gonna do before and after. Power of the internet. All right, time to put this piece on. So it looks like it's getting caught on this little piece here. So we're gonna see if we can Dremel it out and hopefully it fits better. Here's what it looks like mocked up. Looking pretty sweet. Oh, looks like we did some custom fab here. Just gonna Dremel it out and make it smoother along this edge. Clip it off and then we can smooth it off later. Okay. Because it's cheap, like the tabs, I just ripped it off. I didn't even have to cut it. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's see if this works. Custom fab, yeah, and then if it doesn't fit, then we'll keep cutting. Yeah, boy. Keep cutting. Yeah. It's a deep side. Well, look at the, yeah, how we... I didn't even do much on mine. Yeah, the bolt's sticking out, right? That's fine. Yeah, you don't need to go all the way.
It's worried about this
Hold it
thing.
in. Well, that one I tightened that one already.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
The back ones?
Yeah, the back one.
Let me see.
back to tuner spec. Intake and strut bar now. All right, last piece are the pedal shifter extensions. So went with the silver, and here's how it looks. Another rainy day in Southern California. Don't know what's going on with this weather, but just got back from the post office and picked up my Epsilon wing extension. So going to be installing that today. Install seems pretty straightforward. I will have to drill into the wing, so that's a little scary in terms of making sure everything's lined up, but you know what they say is measure 1,000 times and cut 1,000 times, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, it should be pretty straightforward, so let's see how it turns out. But he must not be a fan of wing extensions at the post office. Why is this all beat up? Well, hopefully it's not damaged. Let's take a look inside and see. So this is the part where I tell you I'm not an expert on installing parts like this, but this is a list of tools that I use throughout the install, and this is just how I did it and what I use. So Epsilon does have a Google Doc instruction as well as reference videos that I'll link in the description below. And again, I'm 100% certain there's a better way to do this, but I hope this helps anyone looking to install this wing as a reference. And with that said, this is how the install went. All right, moment of truth.
Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Gonna take the Kona to its first track day today, so excited. I'm gonna wait for the homie Curtis to get here, and then we're gonna go and meet up with some other drivers that are part of the track day group. I'm gonna pack up my stuff and look to get ready. Here is the bag of sort of track items, the gloves, letters. I can't forget the snacks. Mask just in case. Been feeling a little bit under the weather. If I start yakking all over the place, I'll have that ready. Some oil, just in case. Hope to get some footage on track, but we'll see how it goes. Got the homie here.
Yeah.
Dude. Alright.
Ready?
Shoot. Let's do it. Got Derek here.
This radiator springs? No, this is wheels.
Welcome to Streets. How is everybody?
Good.
All right, ready for an awesome day. I'm Chris. This is David. This is Christine here. We'll be here all day. If you need anything, just let us know. We're here to help. That's what we're here for.
So after the 2 beginner group sessions with a lead follow, I went out on my own for only 1 session. I'm not going to bore you with some underwhelming driving, but here's sort of my cleanest lap once I got comfortable and let everyone go past me. And now that I've watched the footage, I definitely need and want to improve the next time I go out there, just push it just a little bit more. So I hope you enjoy. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to install some, oh my god, this light. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I got a quick video today, just going to install some carbon fiber accents throughout the car. I know these aren't really like technically mods, but aesthetic wise adds some pizzazz or a little bit more nuance than just all the black trimming. I also have some interior pieces that I filmed a while back that I'll include in the montage as I install this. It'll be a quick video. I'll give my thoughts at the end, and let's get started. Got some exciting news. Going in again for some R&D, this time at AFE, and nothing too crazy, but gonna do some R&D for a new charge pipe that they're developing. Car should be there for 2 days. Yeah, shouldn't be anything too super crazy, so we'll see. Stay tuned. Here we go again. Things I do for this little valve. Almost there. Back to stock. Alright, kids is dropped off. Daycare before R&D, and we're off. Gonna head to AFE and drop off the car. We'll see how much I can film in there, maybe get some B-roll. I don't know if I'll be able to talk to Kenny or if they want to be on camera, but stay tuned and let's head over there. Just a random guy walking in and out of the street. I don't know. See you later. There it goes. Anyways, just got back from AFE. Yeah, didn't get too much info. Shout out to Henry who met me outside and checked in the car. But hopefully when I go pick up the car, I'll have more details on, you know, what the charge pipe and how the install went, so. Oh shoot, got the automatic door. What's up? Back at it again.
Yeah, see, Tesla's better driving than me.
Going hands free. And it's like, there it is.
So the cold tube, the
I
cold
see it
pipe
right
is
there.
right here.
Yeah.
That's the throttle body. So it goes from the intercooler right here up like diagonally. It's got your blow-off valve connected to it and whatnot. There's a couple sensors on it.
Cool. So if I wanted to put the aftermarket, I just still connect it in the same spot.
Same exact thing. Same exact spot. There's no adapter or anything.
Okay.
It's
Just kind of connects to the same area.
Yeah, exactly.
So connects, intercooler to here.
Up to the throttle body,
Yep,
and then the
throttle
other
body.
one, the intercooler is on this side
Yeah.
for the hot
So
side.
this is the hot side here?
Yep, this is the hot side, and it goes back and it snakes up to the turbo right here.
Oh, okay.
So it's a 2-bolt flange that connects to the bottom of the turbo. It's just a pain in the butt to get to.
That's what you have to lift the car to get under it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right, car's ready to go. Thanks for the ride. Hit him up, Clark Capital.
Yeah.
Home mortgages.
Purchase, refinance, California, Arizona, Texas. Take care of it. No problem.
All right, see you later, man.
Okay.
Cool. Hey enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be swapping out the Rally Armor and mud flaps that I have on the Kona N. I've had these over a year now and I get asked about these a lot, more so than any other mod, so I'll drop a contact in the description where I got these from. But I'm going to be switching up the look a bit and putting on the MegaChip Solutions chip guards. These are available through the MegaChip USA website in both black and red, and I'll go ahead and drop a link in the description to where you can purchase these. So first thing we gotta do is remove the Rally Armor mud flaps that are on the car now.
These have been great, and you can see here, just after some heavy rain out in California, it's been doing its job wonderfully, catching all that dirt and mud. So Elliot over at Megachip USA has been developing these guards and had sent me over a set to help with testing. So shout out to Megachip for the opportunity to help with that. Here are the chip guards in black. They also come in red, and as you can see, install was pretty straightforward. They're much sleeker than the mud flap style and maybe a good summer look as the weather gets nicer. So the first thing I do is always clean the surface that you're working with. It'll go a long way in installing these. I also have a right angle sort of ratchet screwdriver here. It'll help with taking off the OEM bolts, and you don't have to take the tire off the car. I am lowered, so it gets a little bit tricky. So you'll see in the rears, I actually have a 10 mil ratchet to help with removing some of the screws. So here's the chip guard. Just make sure it's facing the right way and is the right side of the car. That'll line up the holes here, as you can see. Next, you just insert the screws. I do a little bit of a test fitment just to line things up and not tighten them down just yet. Once you have it where you want it, then you can peel back the 3M tape. I do a little bit at a time here. I don't take the whole thing off, and then just sort of press and remove the tape as you press along this side there. So pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So once you have that all lined up, I went ahead and just tightened the bolts to make sure everything is nice and snug. There you have it. So for the next part, you'll see how install went on the rears. I had one issue that I reported, but it's been fixed for the release version. So same thing here, just remove the OEM bolts. I had already gone ahead and done so, but didn't remove this top one, which these chip guards utilize. Again, just want to make sure your surface is clean so that install goes a little bit smoother and less messy. Here, you want to make sure you have the right side of the guard and make sure that it's facing the right way. There's a bracket where things need to line up with the screw that we had just removed from the very top. Here, you want to make sure you have the spacers with the screws. These ones go at the bottom 2 screw location mounts. Again, you don't want to tighten things down just yet, just want to loosely position it and mock it up where you want it, just to reconfirm and double check that fitment is where you want it to be. So I've been using a right angle screwdriver, but on the rears, I actually had to utilize a 10 mil ratchet just because my car is lowered and I couldn't get the right angle screwdriver to fit in this area because of the tire. So I used the 10 mil here to tighten things down. Here I'm placing the top screw on the bracket. It gets a little bit tricky, but nothing you can not figure out. Just place it where it needs to be and make sure you know where the screw lines up with the hole for mounting. Then I went ahead and just removed the whole 3M tape block. It's not too big. Again, knowing where I need to put the top screw and that the 3M block is pressed down enough to where things aren't moving. They provide a small screwdriver, which helps because I couldn't get my right angle ratchet screwdriver in there because it's a little bit deeper of a screw and bracket. And then once you have that, just make sure things are tightened down. And here's where I had the issue that I reported. You can see here, as I'm tightening things down, there's a little bit of a bulge, which I think they then extended the 3M block to make sure the fitment becomes perfect. But on the outside, as you can see here, I think it looks great and turned out great. And I know the red isn't a one-to-one color match, but I do kind of like it for some reason. It kind of switches up because there's a lot of black accents on the car already. So having a sort of red accent switches things up a bit. And here's a comparison of the two guards together. So off camera, I went and tested to make sure that the thing connected to the battery terminal still. We had to plug this hole here This was a collapsible piece on the original part, but in order to get the carbon fiber on layered more nice and even, we had to close it here. So I did test it. When I do want to take it off, it still works, but we'll have to grab it from this edge here and just make sure that the clip side is pulled apart and then lift up. So I do have to add the holes back in to get the side mounts. I just didn't drill big enough, but not a big deal. We'll see how everything looks mocked up. Got the side holes drilled. Not sure if it'll show up on camera, but holes are drilled. So the carbon fiber layer, add a little bit of thickness here. So these kind of aren't seating where I want it to be, but luckily we have some longer screws. It's mostly on this side, so probably gonna go with this bolt here, and we'll see how that turns out. So didn't want to have too much 3M just because it defeats the purpose of having the box so that this wasn't 3M, but because we had to plug this out, couldn't open this port anymore like you saw previously, so decided to 3M tape the controller so that if I do take the lid off, here again, here it is hidden, you take it off, I can then still have access to pressing the different modes here. Not the most elegant, I wish it was mounted somehow, but at least it's like 3M here, it should be easy to remove. Cleaned it up a bit. Again, you know, trying to get this as tight as possible. I wish there was another mount here, but still, I don't think anything's gonna be floating around, and then I'll have to zip tie the rest of this in the car, so stay tuned. Here it is all zip tied, tucked in tight as much as I can. So we'll start it up and set it to red before we close the cover. Also, let's hope it doesn't throw any cones. And sorry for the neighbors. It's a little bit late and we're gonna do a cold start. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got another vlog video today though. I'm going to AFE for some turbo inlet test fitting. Before I get into that though, I do want to give you guys an update on the intake hose fittings. If you saw my previous video, I had swapped out the plastic intake hose fittings on the K&N intake, and my brother hit me up. Shout out to him. Go follow him on YouTube. I'll drop his link in the description below. But he hit me up and told me that aluminum and brass apparently are, you know, two different metals, but because because of that, they will tend to corrode because they are incompatible. So I don't want that to corrode on the intake. So I put back the plastic ones, and then I went and bought some new aluminum fittings to match the aluminum intake piping. So there should be no issues in regards to corroding. So we're gonna swap those out first before I head to AFE in the morning tomorrow. And yeah, let's get to it. So here are the old brass fittings, and then here are the new aluminum ones. Now I wasn't able to get matching finishes, so this one obviously looks like an aluminum finish here, and this one's black, but I don't mind it, so we'll see how it looks. And let's get to installing these. Probably just grab the big boy here. Hose here came off pretty smoothly. Didn't break the plastics this time, but here are the original ones, and here are the new aluminum ones. Here's how the fittings look on the intake. Again, the finishes are different, but I don't mind. I think it looks great, and didn't over tighten them. And here I am just putting the hoses back together and making sure the clamps are secure on the new fittings. And there we go. This should be a little bit more stable when taking these hoses on and off, especially since I've been taking this intake off a lot, but I do love it, so. Gas never gets cheaper. Hey, it's the next day. Just gassed up, about to drop the kids off, daycare and camp before I go to AFE, and we'll see. So basically, I hit up Kenny about the turbo inlet. I know they make one for the Veloster N for both their Takeda intake and the stock intake. So I hit him up to see if the turbo inlet would fit the Kona N, and being as I have the K&N intake, not sure if it will fit the 3-inch piping. I've read online and the Veloster forums on Reddit that a few people have ran the AFE turbo inlet made for the stock intake, and being as the Veloster and the Kona are similar in terms of engine platform versus the Elantra, I'm thinking that the stock intake version of the inlet will fit the Kona N with the K&N intake. Going to head there in a bit, see how much I can film. They're pretty private in regards to their process, so probably can't record in there, but maybe I'll get a few words in with Kenny to see how it went. Excited to see. I know the turbo inlet has been a pain. I've watched a few Kona N owners on YouTube and read a few Reddit threads talking about the install, being that it's a sort of pain in the ass. I was looking forward to installing it, but you know, if a shop can do it, then I'm all for it. You know, less work for me. And I got these kids, so if you have a K&N intake and this turbo inlet fits, then that's awesome, right? So, but we'll see, so stay tuned. Gonna say who says
these cars don't get good gas mileage. 34 miles per gallon. It's pretty good. There it goes. Again. All right, just dropped up the car. Kind of an idiot. I was supposed to bring the stock intake, but they still took the car in. So shout out to Henry and Kenny. So I'll probably look to come back Friday and drop off the stock intake so they can continue testing. So I'm gonna go. What's up, man? I know.
It does pretty much fit.
Okay.
It didn't have any more buzz or, moving.
So it's like a tight fit, but it fits kind of thing?
Honestly, it feels like how the factory one
Oh, really?
fit in. So
Huh.
that's actually really nice to know.
Okay.
But yeah, so new coupler in with the new plate.
Cool. Yep, I see it there. Yep. Nice. You still want? So you still want me to come in on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, just to
make
confirm.
sure,
Yeah.
because, like, we do have another coupler that you can actually switch it out to for the stock system. Again.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't want like.
Was this one like for a bigger coupler, or was this for the?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
this
see.
coupler is for like just like bigger systems. in
Oh,
general. So that way
gotcha.
you can run universal. So that way you get different sizes.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video. This time going to the track this Saturday, so I'm excited. Going to meet up with the Hyundai N Cup, who's been running a few events at Streets of Willows and other tracks around California, as well as the SoCal N Club. So also going to meet up with Derek there at the track, who helped me out a lot last time, and hopefully going to meet some other N owners, and yeah, look to get a personal best. Got the goods here. 5W30. Can't forget the wheel lock, as well as extra port and the racing brake fluid. All right, car's at the shop. So gonna start packing some of the small items that I'm going to take to the track, and I'll show you that now. Got an extra quart of oil here, just in case, to prevent any leaks or if I need extra oil. Tire pressure gauge. This, it can check PSI as well as release air pressure. Got a 10 mil, can never have too many of those. As well as some various tools here. Got screwdrivers, got little needle nose, these little guys, little plastic trim tools. Got my ratchet here, nice and convenient, as well as an X-Acto knife, just in case. Never know what you'll need to cut. I got my racing gloves, just so I can, feel like a race car driver. Got a bunch of microfibers. Can never have too many microfibers, just to clean up. Some important essentials, zip ties, can't forget those. Just some quick detailing products. I know it's gonna get dirty, but gotta look good out there too. And this might be overkill, but gonna bring a whole ratchet set that have varying tools in here as well. Sockets, some Allen wrenches. Might be overkill, but you never know. Somebody might need this as well. Can't forget the tape. Also, I had to flatten out my track number. They got a little bit curled up, so I just put them on the fridge and took a heat gun to it just to flatten it out. So I got these. Also, can't forget my N hat here. Always important to have a hat. It's gonna be a hot one. I also have the key for the wheel lug nuts, just in case the wheels get a little bit loose. So I'll have that as well, packed up. All right, it's track day, early in the morning.
Gonna wait for my brother to get here, so probably won't leave for another bit, but gonna start packing a little bit of other essentials like food, water, and definitely have to get coffee. So hope to get there a little bit before registration. It might be tight, but hopefully we get there in time. So let's wake up. Cheers.
All right, just gassed up, barely made it, had an empty tank as we exited, but all gassed up and gonna head to the track now. Tail hook on, expander on. So they put me in the fast lane, but why are these guys in the slow lane?
So just ranting a bit there at the start of this first session, but it's more my fault. I should have came earlier to grid for a slow lane just because I'm still a little bit nervous or self-conscious about holding up traffic. But this is the first session, definitely had a lot of point bias and just letting people get in front of me before I could feel a little bit more confident. Again, something I need to work on. Overall, I was a little down because I didn't get a faster time than the first track day, but did get a better sense of the track layout and trying to push the car a bit further heading into the second session.
Don't be scared. Just putting my headsock on. Gonna go up for the second session. First session, it was all right. Didn't really get a fast time, but still kind of learning the counterclockwise, and was with a pretty fast group, so with some fast cars. So doing a lot of point buys. Hopefully I'll get a clean lap and get a little bit more confidence on the second one. So stay tuned.
So definitely didn't pass that guy, but second session was awesome and definitely better for me than the first. They grid you based on your times, so I was able to be towards the back of the pack and didn't have as much traffic behind me like the first session. So because of that, I had a little bit more confidence and got more cleaner laps in. Here's a raw clip of not necessarily the fastest run, but one of the cleaner laps that I got. And again, I know I can improve upon, but just want to show my progress and be as transparent as possible. So definitely need to clean things up a bit, but proud of myself overall, especially for hitting 102 on that straightaway. I didn't record the third session because the GoPro battery died, but that was where I ran my fastest of 146. So
Was it a good tie?
Excellent.
That's all I really wanted to hear out of this whole track day. Alright, gonna call it a day and stay tuned. I'll let you know how we did. Car performed great, definitely pushed it more, and can't be any happier. Alright, about to leave the track. Tire pressure warning's on, but I don't think it's updated. I had a successful track day, did a little bit better than last time, so I can't ask for more. I'm just gonna go drop off the stuff and head home, and stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with another video. This time going to the SoCal and Hyundai meetup, which is gonna be the largest Hyundai N meetup in Southern California. So excited there. There was a few previous Hyundai meetups up north at the Laguna Seca Raceway that I wasn't able to attend, but wanted to always go to a meetup and wasn't gonna miss this one. So gotta get the car ready to show off and to show out, and excited. Gonna be a lot of N cars there. I think it's projected to be about 60 N cars with 10 Konas. So that's cool to see. I've only seen one out in the wild. And of course, you guys know Derek. I don't count that because I know him. He's the homie and he's helping running the event. So shout out to him, and shout out to Carbondale Hyundai for throwing the event and sort of sponsoring it. I guess, I don't know what you would want to call it, but they're a big help in getting it set up and should be cool. I want to see if I can meet up with some other Hyundai and just N owners that I follow on Instagram. So that should be fun to kind of see and show out at the N community. So excited there. As far as prep, you'll see I am going to I'm going to do some exterior mods. I have some red trim that I want to try out in the car. So here's a clip of me installing it. And then I am going to obviously get the car ready for Saturday and get it washed up because it's looking the hell dirty right now. So stay tuned. Here it is mocked up, and I'm not gonna film me applying it because that'll be boring, but let's see what it looks like on the final. Dusty. It's been seen better days, but yeah, let's get her washed up. Alright, gonna head out, meet up with another N homie in Glendale, and then we'll head to the spot, so stay tuned. Looks like we're in the right spot.
Let's do this. Gonna try and enter that car show. Gonna get on Hyundai and worldwide. What's up, sir? How's it going? Running the thing over here.
Oh yeah, you know.
Trying to get this number. Yeah, let me enter my lowly Kona.
75 to 100 on days.
Oh damn! That like jumped from the last time.
No pressure on the shoulder.
Yeah, you handle it like a boss.
Sticker for the windshield.
Okay,
sir.
where do I put it? Top.
Wherever you want on the windshield. This as long as the Luis, he has a clipboard. Just sign it, and then he's also gonna give you some wristbands, coffee, donuts, food, whatever the hell you want.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Awards. Just keep your car clean.
Okay, I'm gonna try to dust it down. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks, Derek. That's cool as well. Kona's got to hold down the entrances. Shout out Ramos on the bay. Furthest driven.
This is Bruno, everybody. He drives the red Kona in. It's over there. From San Jose, in the Bay.
Hey!
North Carolina in the house. North.
Yeah!
Mr. Cali Kona
We took home. We took it home.
Aaron, come on.
Hey! Glendale!
First place.
Hey, I'll see you around Glendale. Congrats, man. See you, Aaron. All right, meet's done. People are rolling out. Awesome that we got
Best Kona. Thank you guys who voted. Was this awesome to see? It was a great time. Ooh. That's a good one. We did it. This is the Kona and crew of California.
Much appreciated. Later.
Take it easy. Drive home safe, man. Fragile. Fragile. Not the best first sign. Whew, it is hot over here. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's been pretty hot out here in California, so going to install an oil cooler from Forge Motorsports. Just want to give a shout out to Forge Motorsports for sponsoring the build. I'll drop a link in the description to where you can get this product. So you saw in the unboxing that the product comes with the oil cooler with the bracket mounted. So this will go onto the crash bar. Very nice quality. Also comes with all your fittings and AN hoses and lines, as well as your screws and a couple of zip ties to clean up the hosing and plumbing there underneath. And it comes with the sandwich plate here, which will go and connect to our existing, where the oil filter sits. So with that said, going to install this oil cooler kit at my brother's place. So stay tuned and we'll see how install goes. Should be pretty straightforward. I'll try to do a step-by-step. I know I haven't been doing that as well in the past. Been called out on it, a few times, but we'll see and really just do a video play-by-play of their instructions that they provide online. So with that said, stay tuned. All right, just so for baseline, just, drove 30 minutes, 40 minutes on the freeway, some light pulls here and there, going about 80 average, 75, 80, nothing too crazy. And the oil was about 210, 215 at the highest. And just for the record, it is 93 degrees outside, so pretty hot day. So we'll see. Going to probably also do an oil change. Last time I did it was a couple thousand, I would say 1,000 miles ago, maybe 500, 2,000. That was short, but I did do a half track day in hot weather, so wouldn't hurt to just swap out the oil while I have it too. So now you can stay tuned.
For the oil, going to use some Valvoline full synthetic 5W30 with the OEM oil filter. Here's the part number, always go OEM, and obviously the oil cooler. You saw the components in the intro, but I also got this AN wrench so it doesn't damage any of the AN fittings. But here is a list of all the tools you'll need to install the oil cooler. Obviously, the first thing you do is jack up the car. I'm only working in the front half, so only lifting or putting the car on jack stands to the front only, with some car jacks on the back for further support. So first thing, removing the bumper. There are 3 pop clips on both sides of the inner fender of the car, 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom here. And there's a screw here at the very top that you'll need a Phillips head to remove the screw. Here's where filming gets a little bit difficult, but you'll need to remove the under tray in order to get to the oil filter a little bit easier. To remove the under tray, here's a diagram with the oil filter being in this location for reference. There's going to be a total of 10 push clips, and this is where they are on the under tray. Here you can use your flathead or trim remover tool to remove the pop clips. Next, there's going to be 7 10mm bolts, 4 up front and 3 in the back. Once you remove all these, you should be able to take out the under tray. And lastly, to remove the bumper, there are 4 10mm bolts that you'll need to remove in order to take the bumper off. Here I have some dress-up bolts, so that's why I'm using an Allen key instead of a 10mm, which you would normally use to get the OEM bolts off. After that, you should be able to remove the bumper. The best thing here is just to take your time, go a little bit slower, start from the top and sort of wiggle and pull until things get a little bit loose. But be careful, I did end up breaking one of the clips on accident, which I think affected the fitment a little bit. So please be a little bit more careful than I was here. Now we're going to remove the crash bar. There is a sensor here that you have to unplug, pretty straightforward. Here there are 2 bolts that I use the 12mm socket to remove, as well as an M6 bolt that I use the 10mm to remove. So a total of 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom, and this is for both sides. Here's how I place the crash bar face down, and the crash bar is a little bit different from, I would say, the overseas crash bar. So this is how I had it laid out in order to test fit the oil cooler here. You want to position it so we can enlarge these 2 holes here to act as a guide in order to drill 2 new holes. Once you have the holes drilled, you'll insert these rubber riv nuts and use the M6 fasteners to mount the oil cooler on the crash bar. Here they tell you to use a 12.5mm drill to enlarge the holes. I'm not sure if we had an underpowered drill or the wrong drill bits, but it was a little bit difficult. It took a little bit of time to get this first one done with the drill bit, but we got it done and started on the second one, but ended up using a Dremel that had a bit that was able to enlarge the hole to the size that we needed. This actually was a little bit easier to enlarge the hole with than the drill bit, but then again, I'm not sure if we had a underpowered drill or the wrong drill bit in order to make the holes larger. We did use the drill bit to use as a marker to make 2 new holes that I forgot to mention. There are no pre-existing holes on the other side that you'll need, so you'll need to create 2 new holes in order to insert the rubber riv nuts. Here I started to assemble the sandwich plate using my AN wrench to make sure I don't damage or scrape the AN fittings. And I did forget to put the 2 rubber O-rings that go on the straight AN fittings that the 90-degree ends attach to. And I had to go back and fix it because there was an oil leak, so definitely check your hardware. After that, I started to mount the oil cooler. Now that the rib nuts are in place, I can use the M6 screws and tighten by hand first, and then went back with an Allen key and tightened it. You don't want to over tighten these because these could break, and they're not like super fragile, but they can break, so be careful. Next, you want to go in reverse order in putting the crash bar back on, and it'll probably be better to have 2 people to do this step as it will make things much easier and smoother to put the crash bar back on. Next, you want to remove the oil filter, make sure the car is cooled down, and that you have some maybe microfibers or towels because it'll get a little messy with some residual oil, as you can see here. So definitely clean up the area before you mount and mock up the sandwich plate, and use the thread extension to sort of loosely mock it up so you can position it where you want it, but don't tighten it down yet. You also want to make sure that the sandwich plate is facing the rubber O-ring side up, and that is the side that's closest to the engine. What I did was took some oil and use it to lubricate the O-ring before placing and mocking up the sandwich plate. I couldn't film too clearly where the sandwich plate should be mocked up, but you want to have it sort of at an angle so that the lines can clear and not hit any major component. Again, you don't want the hoses to hit anything that could heat it up or rub through them. Once you have it in place, you want to guide your fittings and lines to the top of the mounted oil cooler. Here you want to loosely tighten them. Don't tighten them down completely just yet, as you might need to reposition the hoses in order to clear some of the areas below. Here's a picture from the instructions that Forge provides. Here you can see red at the bottom of the mounted oil cooler and the green line is the top. Here you want to tighten your lines on the oil cooler. Again, don't want to over tighten these, but you have to make sure these are secure so there's no oil leak. And I already went ahead and zip tied the hoses into areas that I felt was best fitting. Forge shows you where you should zip tie the hoses, but because I don't have the radiator shroud because I am running the Velocitec big mount, so I had to, improvise and zip tie the hoses so that they're secure. There should be some movement, but not too tight. The next step here is the oil change, and I don't want to bore you. Started to get late with recording, but a great reference video for the oil change on the Kona N is with Lone Wolf Detailing, so shout out to Leo. I'll drop a link in the description to the video, or if you just search Kona N oil change and look for Lone Wolf Detailing's video, you should be able to pull it up. And subscribe to his YouTube channel to check out more Kona N mods and installs on his channel. Definitely give him a follow. So I want to mention here, during the oil change, I did tighten down the thread extension so that the new oil filter can be attached. I ran the car a bit just to make sure there was no oil leaks, and initially there were none during this night of testing, but like I mentioned before in the clip with the sandwich plate, I did forget some of the rubber O-rings, and in the morning I did notice some oil leaking from that area, so I did have to go back and add the rubber O-rings in order to stop the leaking. As you saw earlier, you want to put the bumper back on in reverse order that you took it off. And don't forget to put any push clips or bolts or fittings that need to be attached to the car. Also, don't forget to take the car off the jack stands. That would be bad. Got some new wheels here from Super Speed, so let's take a look. So I haven't gotten the other batch yet. They come 2 at a time, but going to start and see if I can
ceramic coat
these tonight and just have a little bit more ease when I am cleaning the brake dust if they're
ceramic coated.
So I'm gonna wait for the other set to come, but that's just a little preview. Gonna look dope, I think. So we'll see. Do you like the white? I just feel going to the white is a little bit of a switch up. Just wanted something different. I've seen a lot of other N cars run black. It looks great, obviously, but wanted to see if I could do something to make it my own. And I have a few white accents with the Velocitec intake in the front. So hopefully this will help accentuate and add a little bit more contrast to the car. So I'm excited to see how these look, but let's get to powder coating. Not powder coating. Let's get to ceramic coating. So I'm going to use this Magic Shield ceramic coating. Says it's guaranteed for
2 years.
Obviously not like an Avalon King, but wanted to try it. Haven't done any ceramic coating yet, but got good reviews on Amazon at a good price. So want to start with something a little bit more
I don't say cheap, but a little bit at a lower price point before I move up. Also got some hydro spin for ceramic detailing for the wheel from the chemical guys. So hopefully that will help protect after this larger shield here, that we can kind of easier to clean the brake dust. So let's get started. Probably not till tonight, but geez, these look killer. I don't know, things gonna look, you know, hot boy summer is here even though summer's ending. So stay tuned. Other half is here. Yeah, made it in time. I'll load it up. Let's give a little cold start for the boys. Had to get the Starbucks first, drop it off to the fam, and then we're off. People in Glendale, guy turning left decides to turn right in my lane. Anyways, gonna head to the shop right now for the tire swap, so stay tuned, I guess. But yeah, people in Glendale, California do not know how to drive, and that's why my insurance premiums are at a high. Stay tuned. All right, back at it again, my favorite tire shop. They did my wheels last time, so I'm going back with American Tire, or America's Tire. Not getting new tires, still a lot of tread left on the Yokohama, so looking to just swap the wheels today. So let's see how the install goes, and hopefully I have all the stuff with me. All right, say goodbye to the current setup. So it'll be the last time I see it. WRX and the blue same car. Cool. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be installing some new brake pads. If you haven't checked out the previous video, I had swapped wheels to the Super Speed. Oh my gosh, I've been sick for a while. I swapped to some white wheels from Super Speed, the R6, R06. I love how they came out. I love how they turned out, but with anything white wheel related, there's gonna be an issue with keeping them clean. And you know, I've been doing a good job. I had them, say it's a good job, but I had them ceramic coated. I've been using detailing products from, you know, chemical guys. For the Hyundai end brakes, it's well known that they are pretty dust heavy. They're great pads, but the brake dust, pretty abundant. I'm going to be going with the EBC red stuff is what they're called. These are for, you know, sort of an OEM. I wouldn't say they're track ready. They even say on the site that these red stuff ones are not track adjacent. Since I'm going to not be tracking for a bit and I'm gonna be running the white wheels on the street, I wanted to have something that is a little bit more lower maintenance to maintain. So I've been hearing good stuff about EBC brakes in general. So trying out the red stuff to see if this can reduce some of the dust. So pretty straightforward. Haven't replaced pads on the car yet. I've done 2 track days with them and been driving it for a while. It's been held up pretty well. Again, if I were gonna track, I might put the old pads if there's enough wear on there. Or EBC also makes track specific ones. They're like the EBC yellow or blue pads that are more track adjacent. So with these are sort of, again, like I said, more OEM plus-ish or OEM-ish. Also, the in-bed process, there is no sort of bedding process for these. Typically, a bedding process, from what I know, is you speed up and then you brake really fast or really hard, but then not to a complete stop. So there's none of that for these. The bedding process, they say from EBC, is to just run them normally. Nothing extreme in terms of extreme braking, unless you really want, unless you really need to. I'm not trying to, you know, crash or cause an accident, but they say just normal driving will be enough to bed these. So hopefully nobody around here is crazy in terms of driving. Well, we'll see. Yeah, going to head to my brother's house, like I always do, because I live in an apartment garage and it's the worst to work on, but also don't have a lot of tools. So going to look to install these. So stay tuned. Low dust. Get a cold start here.
So in an effort to be as detailed as possible, I'll try my best to present an install process. For the front pads, here are the tools that I used. A 14mm wrench or socket for the 2 caliper bolts, some ceramic brake lubricant for the outside of the pads, a caliper compression tool, and last but not least, some Loctite for the bolts. So here's how the brake assembly looks with the wheel off. These are the 2 bolts, one at the bottom and one at the top here. I started by cleaning as much brake dust as possible and then started to remove the 2 14mm bolts at the top and bottom. Next, you'll want to remove the caliper, but don't let it hang off the brake line as it could cause damage. So I placed it here at the top, but I've seen people also zip tie these to the springs. Here you can now remove the brake pad retainers and pads. The retainers are on the front of the pads and they look sort of like giant paper clips to me. The pads were a little stuck also, so I used a plastic trim remover to help loosen it out. On the new pads, I applied the brake lubricant. This is a sliding moving part, so you'll want this lubricated to help reduce noise, but also keep it running as smooth as possible. I also made sure to get the back and top part of the pads, but don't put them on the brake pad material itself. Also, the pads came with their own backing plate, so I didn't reuse the OEM ones. Now you can insert the new pads. There's a metal clip that sort of guides it in place, but it could be a little tricky to position them. I made sure the bottoms were in place first, then push the top in, but you might have to finagle it a bit. And make sure you repeat this process on the inner pad. Here I am applying the brake lubricant and then wiggling in place. Make sure they're secure and not loose, and then you'll basically go in reverse order to finish up. First, by putting back the pad retainer clips, or giant paper clips as I like to call them. Here, you'll use your caliper compression tool. It took me a bit to figure out how to use it at first, but that might be because I'm dumb. But definitely make sure that the piston is compressed all the way, or else the housing won't be able to fit back on, which you'll find out was my issue for the rears. Next, you can put back the caliper. I used one of the bolts and inserted it at the top loosely to help position the assembly, then inserted the bottom bolt. Next, you'll want to tighten them down. I don't have the exact torque specs, so I just made sure that they're hand tight. Based off loosening the bolts at the beginning though, they shouldn't be too over torqued, but tightened enough to feel secure, so I had my brother check it once over.
Alright, let's clean these guys so we can kind of get a sense of how much dust. Here I started to try installing the rear pads, but I found out there were a few extra different pieces that I wasn't aware of, and dad duty was calling, so I had to run and did not finish installing the rear pads that day, unfortunately. Alright, let's try this again. Gonna go back to my brother's house and finish the rears. As you can see, hella dirty. So here's the rear wheel after 4 weeks since I last washed them, including one long 200 total mile road trip. And this time I came a little bit more prepared, so you'll still need the tools used for the front pads. This time though, you'll need a 12mm wrench or socket. I actually brought gloves this time to keep my hands cleaner, and some pliers last but not least. Here's how the e-brake assembly looks. First, you'll want to remove this clip or bracket here. Next, you're going to want to take your 12mm and remove this nut here. That'll allow you to remove the e-brake line at the top and the spring at the bottom, as well as the bracket itself. Once those are off, you could take your 14mm to remove the bolts here on the caliper to remove it to have access to get the pads out. Here you want to remove the caliper, but again, don't let it hang from the brake line as it could cause damage. Once you have that done, install is similar to the front pads. Here you want to remove the pad retainers and the pads themselves. Next, you'll apply your brake lube on the backing of the brake pads as well as the top and bottom, but make sure you don't get them on the pad material. Now, you can take your new pads and insert them,
And then make sure you repeat the same process of lubrication on the other pad. And again, make sure the brake lubricant doesn't touch the pad material or the rotor itself. Once that's set, you can install the pad retainers and then make sure to compress your brake caliper and then reassemble the brake caliper onto the brakes. You'll see in the next clip, I had issues putting the caliper on. That was because the caliper was not compressed all the way.
Alright, finally got it in. I just had to make sure that the brake was compressed all the way. It was not. So I got this bolt to help push in the caliper piston so that it compresses all the way. So now it fits. I was having trouble putting the 2 bolts here and here, but now it fits. So we got to put this thing with the spring back in. Here's the spring. Just hopefully that goes in and we'll wrap up.
Here you want to pull the e-brake line through the metal bracket here. You want to have the e-brake down so that you can pull the line all the way through. Again, make sure that your car is secure on the jack stands. Here you want to pull the e-brake line on the bracket here, and you want to make sure that this is firm and not loose before you secure the 12mm nut here. Once that's tightened down, you want to take your spring and make sure that it's secure on the bracket using your pliers. And then lastly, don't forget to put this clip on the e-brake line assembly. Once you have all your brakes assembled, you want to go in and pump your brakes around 3 to 5 times just to make sure that there's pressure in the pedal. After that, it might feel a little stiff, but once you turn the car on, it should feel normal. And if it doesn't, then you might need to bleed your brakes. For testing, I did take a road trip that was 200 total miles, and this is how the wheels started out. I didn't do the best job in cleaning, but here is the rear after being wiped down. And here is the front, how it started before the road trip. Here's what they look like on the rears after 100 miles, both freeway and city driving. A little bit more dustier for sure, but not by that much. Here's a comparison of the front wheels. The wheels wiped down on the left, and after 100 miles of freeway and city driving on the right. So the fronts will definitely be much dustier in regards to obviously the car's front wheel drive and the bigger brakes are on the front, but not too dusty compared to say the OEM pads driving the same distance. Here's what the rears look like after 100 miles versus 200 miles when I made my way back home. As you can see, obviously more dust, but nothing that is unmanageable. You can see the crevices where dust gets trapped is still abundant, as well as the inner barrel, but not as much as the OEM pads would be in my opinion. But again, this is only after 200 miles. The fronts now are definitely dustier, especially on the lip portion here, but not as dusty on the spokes or inner barrel as I thought it would be. Again, compared to the OEM pads around the same distance, I feel the OEM pads would have a deeper color where the dust collects on the spokes and the inner barrel, as well as the lip, but you know, not as much here. This is dusty for sure, but nothing that I would say is unmanageable in terms of cleaning up. Here's a comparison of the OEM pads versus the EBC pads on the rears. The OEM pads on the left have just a little bit more than 200 miles, I would say, but you can see that it's way darker in the areas where dust is collecting, like I said earlier. Also on the spokes and face of the wheel, and definitely the inner barrel, you can see on the EBC pads that it still gets dusty, but it doesn't produce as much as the OEM pads. Again, the OEM pads had probably a little bit more than 200 miles, so take that into account. But I still feel the EBC pads definitely produce less dust on the rears. Here again, the fronts have a deeper color of dust on the OEM pads. Now the EBC pads do have a little bit more dust than the rears here, but in the front comparison, I would say less dust versus OEM. Now again, these shots of the front, I don't have the accurate mileage for the OEM pads, so I apologize there. But just by going off of how dust collects on the OEM versus EBC pads, the EBC pads so far haven't had as deep of a dust coloring in the areas where dust collection is heavy, if that makes sense.
Okay, welcome back to the channel. So gonna head to the Cars and Coffee for SoCal N Club. It's about like a 40-minute drive from here, but the Kona's looking a little dusty, so gonna go to the car wash first and give her a little rinse down, and then head over to the meet. So maybe get some coffee before I go. Hopefully I have time. I have about 2 hours before I need to leave, or 2 hours before the meet, so let's get going. Letting the car warm up a bit, you know. Alright, heading to the car wash now. Also this week, gonna look to install some new Super Speed RF01, I believe, wheels. So shout out to Super Speed Wheels, hooking it up again. This time it's going on my brother's Ioniq 5. You might have seen it, you know, here and there in some of my videos, but doing mods here and there, but obviously the Ioniq 5 is an EV, so you can't really, you know, tune those per se. So everything is all aesthetic. To make it look sporty, I feel he had to get some new wheels, so been harping on him to do that. So Super Speed is hooking it up and gonna go there in a couple days, so we'll see how it turns out, so stay tuned. Little dent here. Don't know where that came from. Alright, got 10 minutes before I should leave. Probably try to get there on time at 10, but just wash the car. But feeling a little tired, so I do want to get some coffee. So let's go do that. BRZ with the wing though? Look at this guy. Lost my car. I forgot I gotta roll my window down, so gotta clear that streak out.
Hi, good morning and welcome to Starbucks.
Can I get a venti ice, the matcha frappuccino with whip? Awesome, thank you. Got the goods.
Head north on North
Get
Central
some
Avenue toward
GoPro
Third
action
Avenue.
going.
Then use the left two lanes to turn left onto the California 134 West Ramp. 1,000 feet, keep left and forth. Follow signs for freeway. Keep left and forth.
Alright, this looks like the spot here. Yeah, he did. He showed up. Like this whole back row has been taken up.
It went from 0 to filled real quick.
Yeah, great job, Derek.
I didn't do it.
All right, we'll put you on the channel. This is Derek. He runs SoCal and Club.
I didn't. I have nothing to do with it. It was Scott, son, who decided to locate. It's whatever it stays as stock. Yeah, that's the only good one. The other one, I don't know.
Hey, we saved you a spot right here. I don't know. Jeez. Support the team. Hell yeah. I should have worn mine. I'm so dumb. I was like, I didn't wear it. Couldn't have any homies like join me to like do this for me. So you're the model. Yeah, man. Oh, you got the donut sticker? Yeah, red's the way to go. Alright, just ate. Hung out with some men homies, got to meet a few people. Everyone sort of left in my row. Looks like people are starting to head back. So, gonna get back on the road and head home. Yeah. Alright, gonna head to my brother's spot, or I'm gonna head to the shop that's installing my brother's wheels now. But first, gotta fix my front splitter. Something came loose, or one of the bolts came loose, so gotta fix that so it doesn't fall off on the freeway and cause an accident. I actually don't have the right bolt, so I thought this was it. This was not it, so just tightened the first one down. Still loose here, but at least it's not wiggly from this side. So let's get going. Alright, made it to the shop. Let's check it out. This place is a Cars and Coffee. So it's a coffee shop and an auto shop. So my brother's getting his wheels done here. Yeah, let's go check it out. We got the clown shoe on the Mini Cooper, 36 sick S2000, so E36. Pretty sweet lineup. Oh, you know, we got the Kona over here too, right?
The issue is the socket does not fit in between the lug nut and the wheel.
Got it.
So there was a little bit of an issue. We weren't able to reappropriate the stock Ionic 5 lug nuts, but they did have some extra lug nuts that did fit, so we'll probably end up buying some aftermarket ones later on.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, if you saw the thumbnail, I'm going to head to Borla Exhaust for a little something. I don't know if I'll say it in the video, if I can say it later on, or if I'll even publish this video, but gonna document it regardless. Shout out to Ian at Borla for hitting me up, and I'm gonna come through and we'll let you know what happens, so stay tuned. So, gonna wait for my homie James to come through, and then we'll head out there. But first I have to, you know, just make sure it's not too far of a drive outside of LA, but want to make sure that the car is, you know, tire pressure, oil's good. So I'm gonna check that now before I make my daughter's school lunch. So I've been using this air tire pressure that I bought on Amazon. It's so much more convenient. Air compressor. Hold it down, on, and you can set the PSI to what you want it at. I'm gonna put it at 35, and let's go do that. Right between the marks. Got some cleaning products packed up, so hopefully I have time to wipe the car down when I get there, so it's not looking dusty on film. It's a retail on one of those. All right, got the crew with me. Just gonna gas up real quick and hit the road. So stay tuned. Gas out here, ridiculous.
Just got here. We'll see how it goes. I need to upgrade my tips to this thing. Here at Borla, might be a secret, can't tell them yet, but I will let them know later on.
So basically, Borla is doing an ad with Donut Media, and the concept is James Pumphrey is conducting the symphony of cars to We Wish You a Merry Christmas, but the instrumentals are Borla equipped cars. So they'll line up the cars in the shape of a Christmas tree, and then a drone shot will be one of the key shots in the ad itself.
There's me right there. Yeah, what do you think? What's your favorite car here?
So I'm really digging old school 4GT.
Can't go wrong with that.
You know, kicked Ferrari's ass.
What about you, James?
That Jeep.
Oh yeah, that's all James. Yo, that Borla on this GR Corolla though? Jeez. You know, shout out to Ian and Eric at Borla for having me. Made the cut of the Christmas tree, so catch me in this Donut Media ad. I'll post the video, obviously, after they post their video, so we'll see.
A-lister right here.
James Pumphrey. So let's see if we can get a picture or something at the end.
Unfortunately, did not get a picture. I was a little nervous to go up and ask him for a picture because they were obviously working and on the clock, so didn't want to get in the way as they were shooting and didn't want to interrupt them. So here's some behind the scenes of the symphony shot, and there's my car. So here they're capturing some sound notes from different exhausts to replace the temporary exhaust sounds in their We Wish You a Merry Christmas remix. They didn't rev past a certain RPM because it would have just blown out the audio on the mic.
Alright, carry note on the chorus. So it's clean though.
So that's
That's cleaner than my 3-year-old engine.
and it's kind of dirty right now, but I didn't have enough warning to clean it up.
You weren't looking under the hood.
yeah, good thing it was just like a top shot, hood's closed.
That's the original engine.
That's amazing.
My dad was gonna take the foot off and put it on the wall, and he just never did it. So we just left it.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
So the commercial is live now on the Donut Media YouTube channel. This is just the snippets of my car, but I don't want to post the whole video just in case it gets flagged, especially with the sound. But I love how it came out. Again, shout out to Donut and Borla for having the car. It might not be a big thing, but it's exciting for me personally to be in a commercial. I love how the video came out, but the outro you'll see is my final thoughts of how the shoot went. So if anything doesn't line up or make sense, it's because I recorded this before the commercial came out.
You got kill all wipers. Can I do this wiper delete? Let's get into it. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be installing a few items on the rear end of the Kona today. So one is I'm going to be switching up the brackets on my Epsilon wing extension. So the original one comes in a sort of aluminum finish. So they had just released their black finish, and I think this will clean up the rear end a little bit. I mean, I liked how aggressive it looks in the back, but I want to see how switching it to the black will look with the rim extension. And it comes with all the brackets. Yeah, it comes with the brackets as well as the screws to replace it. So that should be that should be an easy install. Next, we have probably going to be a controversial mod. I've read a lot of people always questioning it, but I'm going to delete the rear wiper on the Kona. And the reason for that, before anyone gives me crap about it, is that it hardly rains out here in California. And even when it does, I've driven the car a bunch of times in sort of torrential downpouring, and I've never used the rear wiper. So going to be using the kit from killallwipers.com. This one was made for the Hyundai i30, but my friend Ruben on Instagram has this on his Kona, and he told me this one will fit. So we're gonna go test this out now. So let's take a look at what's inside. So it looks like the wing extension brackets are probably going to be the easiest ones to replace. So I'm going to start that install first and go over that. And then I'll do the rear wiper delete and try to get a little bit of instructions or a step-by-step of a how-to video. So bear with me as I charge the light on my camera, and then we'll go get started and do the brackets first. Stay tuned. So the replacement of these should be pretty easy. I'm just going to go one by one. And to install and uninstall them, there are two screws, one here at the top of the wing and one behind the wing extension. And I don't have the exact measurements of the two screws, but I just grabbed a bunch of Allen wrenches that I had lying around from IKEA and just grabbed the ones that fit the two screws. And just, yeah, as you can see, I'm using them here. And then you probably want to wipe down with a microfiber, not just your fingers like I did here. But after that, I just reversed the process. I put the top screw in first, and then I did the bottom one behind it. And you don't want to over tighten these because you could end up stripping the threads. And here's how they look next to the silver ones. So you can exchange the silver brackets and send them in for a refund if you order the black ones. So that's pretty cool. But I'm deciding to keep the silver ones just in case, I don't know, a bracket falls off or I don't know, something happens. I'll have a backup for the wing to stay on, to the wing extension to stay on. So I'm just going to keep them. But like I said, you could exchange them for a little bit, some money off when you mail back in your existing bracket. So there's that. So I'm gonna say these. So the tools I used for the wiper delete are a 10mm socket wrench, some various trim removal tools, as well as clear tape. In this case, I had some packing tape, a microfiber towel to wipe the window area, along with some glass cleaner. Also, you'll need a small plastic bag along with some small zip ties. The kit comes with the zip ties, and you could use the bag that comes with the kit, but I had accidentally thrown it out, so I used a small bag that I had lying around. First, you're going to want to remove the cover that is on the wiper blade. Once you have that off, there's a 10mm nut, so take your ratchet and remove that so you can remove the wiper blade off the window. So the blade itself is pretty tight, so wiggle around a bit. Just be careful. I ended up just pulling upward to remove it, but make sure you don't break anything. This is what it looks like when it's removed with the, motor and rubber mount. The next step here is to remove the push clip and the handle cover that is holding the hatch trim. Once you remove that, you should be able to remove the whole liner. The door handle, I'm just pushing this tab down, but just be careful not to break anything. And, right on cue, you can remove the door liner once those two pieces are removed. Again, it might feel like it's going to break, and with the Hyundai quality, I did sort of, break a plastic piece here and there, so I would just say be careful when removing this trim. Next, we're moving on to the motor. First step is to unplug the wiper motor. Then there's 3 10mm bolts that you need to remove. Since the motor is in sort of an awkward position, I just loosened the bolts and didn't remove them right away. That way there's no risk of sort of the motor falling down and breaking after removing these bolts. So just take your time, go slow, and it should be able to come out pretty smoothly. Once the bolts are out, you can remove the whole motor assembly. Just be careful with the motor that's sticking out the window when you remove it. And the last piece here will be the rubber sealant, and just remove it from the outside. It might be tricky, but it'll eventually come loose. Now that the whole assembly is removed, this would be a perfect time to clean the glass area before you install the wiper delete plug. So the holographic sticker will actually be on the inside, and then on the outside is this film piece here, so just be wary of that. The next step here is to test fit the wiper plug to make sure that it fits. And then you want to use your clear tape to make sure that it holds in place as you are test fitting. And in this case, it fit perfectly. Again, this is how it's going to look from the inside of the hatch. And then on the outside, this is what the plug should look like when you're test fitting. The next step is to apply the sealant around the whole plug. Make sure you get into all the crevices so that there's no chance for any water or leaks to get through. Be a little bit liberal on the sealant and be careful. It does kind of get a little bit messy, but does wipe and clean off pretty easily. Next, you want to press the plug from the inside and make sure to press firmly so that the sealant has excess coming out on the outside. Once you do that, use your clear tape to hold the plug in place so the sealant can dry in the right position. Next, you'll want to wipe off the excess sealant that's on the glass, and here you can wipe some of that sealant into the gaps as you're cleaning the surface. Here you can go back and reapply sealant around the plug just to ensure a proper seal. And then you'll want to wipe off the excess sealant again to make sure that any sealant doesn't dry on the outside of the glass. Next, you want to cover your motor plug with the plastic bag and zip ties to make sure water doesn't get in and damage the motor. And then now we wait an hour for the sealant to dry.
1 hour later.
Don't forget to remove the clear tape on the inside, and then I waited for things to dry before reinstalling the inner liner and trim pieces of the trunk. And the last step here is to remove the film sticker on the wiper plug, and you want to make sure that all the sealant is dry. Then you'll probably want to go ahead and wipe the glass down again, but I'm just going to wait just a little bit longer for things to dry.
What do you think of the Ioniq 5N compared to, like, say, the Kona? Alright, it's early in the morning, but gonna head to the last Hyundai Inn Cars and Coffee of the year. So got the family with me this time, so gonna drop them off first. About an hour drive away from where I'm at. So gotta get the coffee first and gotta get the gas, obviously. So back at Shell again. So stay tuned. Got Steve here, always supporting the channel. How's it going, man? What time did you get here?
Too late.
Oh, dude, I came in late. Damn, missed the good parking with these guys. Damn, what's up? I missed the Kona and parking. AP intake. There we got Derek handling the police. Alright, gonna move from the back up to the row, but saying bye to this Kona friend. So pretty good turnout, parked in the Kona end row and a lot of the homies. And we always pick the spots with like all the palm trees and shit, so.
I know, I saw cars parked in the middle. It looks badass. Right.
Feels like there's more than last meet, right?
Well, not all together.
Yeah, it's a rare sight. Here's all the Konas. I got the merch over here. What you got on? Hey! I gotta take some pictures. Oh, I got my camera. Gotta tell him to go follow you. Where's you got your IG handle. Go follow the homie. Got a, this is the 24 Elantra. And the Ioniq 5. Damn! And Gabe's Veloster. Here's the Ioniq 5N. Looking crazy. Could have been there. Derek said to take a seat, so I'm gonna sit in it.
I got to put my hands all over it.
Oh yeah, you're right. So,
What up, what up?
dude, I got the Godfather of the N here.
No,
Kona N.
hardly.
We're in the new 2024 Ioniq 5N. And I wish my steering wheel had these buttons at the top. I don't know why they never did that in the first place, so. Dude, the N buttons, the steering wheel's sick.
In Korea, for whatever reason, they have the Alcantara here.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I bet. We gotta cheap out for the US market. Yeah.
$80,000.
$80,000. What do you think of the Ioniq 5N compared to like say the Kona, since you've been tracking? Yeah, EV is the future.
It's ready for the track, man.
Yeah,
this thing is ready for the track. It's built for the track. Everyday track car.
all right,
Absolutely.
you heard it first. If Derek says it's good for the track, then it's good for the track. So we just need 1 more mile for 69 here. Yeah, nice. All right, what do you think? Should I trade the Kona in for Ioniq 5N? What do you think, Ant?
Keep both.
Yeah, right. All right, then you gotta like, comment, subscribe, and buy all the merch. Where is it at?
here.
Where's it at? There you go. Gotta buy all the merch, and I'll get an Ioniq 5. Hey, you got the merch there. We got the N homies, Kona N homies here.
Yeah, Kona and homies.
Yeah. Hey, what do you guys think of the Ioniq 5N?
It's nice.
Really nuts.
It's more space.
It's very
like,
Yeah, about to drift all the way to the grocery store. Just like Ralph's parking lot.
Trying to make my best time.
Yeah.
dude, the seats are
Oh yeah,
insane.
everything's super comfortable. I'm surprised how much leg room I have here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's-
Yeah.
And I'm in a good position.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm-
whoever's sitting here. I'm probably short like me, but
I'm
it's
6'1",
like,
and
yeah. Who wants to sit? Who wants to sit in the front here? You might have to move this
Yeah, you
one.
guys have to
yeah.
like,
Yeah. We'll rotate. I want to see in the back. Yeah. Get back. Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of room in here.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like all the way back.
Only thing so far, no power front.
Hyundai. What are we doing here?
Okay, so this is like a comfortable driving position for me.
This is a nice.
Okay.
It's like 6'1".
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Mike's a
nice
tall
in here.
guy. My favorite thing is the boost buttons on like right by the thumb, because I'll be on track and I'm like, oh, where's my NGS? Like it's not in a natural position.
So this is a very, very nice setup. Like you would almost drive just like this, and you can from all of your fingers. I think the only thing that I would be worried about, depending on I guess how big your hands are and where your steering position is that my fingers are also right on the shift levers.
You're like, oh, neutral or whatever.
But I guess as long as you have your hands already pre-positioned, you don't have to really worry about trying to go and get. Because if I were driving and then tried to go,
yeah, you gotta keep them there. You can't move them around the wheel too much. Yeah, I feel you.
Otherwise, this is a lot of space and very, very comfortable.
Yep, I agree.
When you said that, it doesn't.
Good. Give me MSRP, call me. Yeah.
He's like, I'm Sung Zilla. Do you know who I am?
I know you.
He's like, give me this Elantra,
Yeah, give me this.
and I'll track it right away off the lot.
I'll take it tomorrow.
Yeah, he will too.
All right, there it is. That was all of 2023 this year. So hope you liked that video. I know it was a long one. If you stayed all the way through to the end of this video and saw this outro, drop a, I guess, panda emoji. Panda's my spirit animal in the comments below, so I know that you watched the full 2 hours and that you're a ride or die supporter of the channel. Don't forget to use NGS25 if you want to buy anything off the Tiger Speed Shop website for 25% off merch. Next year, going to have a bunch more designs, sort of monthly exclusive drops, and hopefully go to more meets out in California, do a few giveaways here and there. So excited to sort of grow that brand as I look to grow the channel as well. For what I've seen, a lot of end creators, they have the 1 or 2 cars, but at a certain point, unless they're maybe tracking it and always tweaking and having a steady stream of content, it just becomes a, like, what do I do now? You know, and we kind of drop off, and I'm getting to that point where I'm like, what else can I really do to the car that's within my budget? Like I said, I'm not a big YouTuber at all by any means, and I wish I could just buy a new end platform car or end car and make content, but just comes down to coming up with a content calendar and seeing if I can fill that calendar. But I'm up for the task, and hopefully I can continue year 3 on YouTube for next year. And like I said, I appreciate everyone who supported the channel, has bought merch. I love seeing it out in the wild or being tagged on Instagram. Again, like I said, if you made it this far, you're a real one. Drop a panda emoji, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the new year. Peace.